without further ado, I will go across to my colleague here, Chloe, who is going to talk to you about SIGs, what they do, what they get involved with, and what volunteering means to Chloe. Over to you,
Brilliant.
Chloe.
Okay, thanks, Ian. Well, nice to meet everyone. And yeah, sorry, we're struggling all with technology this morning. But so I'm Chloe Smith, and I spent the last 10 years, I guess, working in facilities and workplace management. And I currently work for Allianz Insurance, providing FM services across our office portfolio in the UK. We've got about 17 offices. And prior to that, I spent about 12 years in hospitality, also sort of delivering on the workplace side of facilities and contract management. And I guess alongside that, I've always tried to put my hand up for some volunteering roles where possible. I've sort of found value in what I've done. So whether it's mentoring within Allianz or helping organise events that are outside of kind of our normal day job. And so, yeah, most recently, I volunteered to be part of the IWFM Sustainability SIG, which is obviously Special Interest Group acronym. And the SIGs generally bring together a kind of group of people that are generally passionate about a particular area of facilities management, and some work in maybe I'm part of the sustainability SIG, as I say, so some might work in sustainability, some are just interested in it. I have a bit of it on a sort of side of desk job for part of what I do. And so that's generally kind of what the SIGs are. And I volunteered about a year ago, so I'm still one of the newest members to the Sustainability SIG. And as part of the role, we get involved with the good practice guides that are then shared through IWFM, reviewing, planning, peer review, editing, seeing the finalised good practice guides go out. The industry surveys that are going through, particularly IWFM. I think the sustainability survey is out there at the moment, deadline next Monday. So a shameless plug to please go fill that in. But we help again, plan, create, work out what goes into that, and sort of share the outputs at the end of that, and also organise local events or SIG events or join in with the IWFM events as well. The commitment for the SIGs, I can only really speak from the sustainability angle, but it generally we meet once a month. So it's not particularly onerous. It's about an hour just with the normal group. And then if you get involved in some of the activity, so I have been involved in some of the good practice guides, but again, it's fairly low level commitment. So they shared the practice guide in advance, and then we had a couple of meetings in a month just to share our feedback as a group, and sort of work through some of the sessions. But there's some upcoming meetings in the next few weeks and I can't make them. I'm on holiday, and that's absolutely fine. I think everybody appreciates that you're just doing this normally on the side of your desk and is grateful for anything that you can offer. Personally, I work full time. I'm a mum of two small children, so I kind of have very little spare time, but I still find value in what I'm doing, and I think it's worth it. And I would just say, don't kind of assume you need loads of time to be able to volunteer. I think even small bits help. Why did I get involved in sustainability? Or the SIG specifically? I guess it's probably the normal reasons I think most people think of, hoping to expand my network, meet some more people within FM. As I say, I work for Allianz, and we're part of an internal team within FM, which is actually quite small. And obviously Allianz's core business is insurance. It's not facilities management. So there's not many people to sort of bounce ideas off or share best practice or opportunities and challenges. So I kind of hope that the SIG would allow me to do that, but within a FM community of people, and deepen my knowledge in sustainability as part of it as well, and then hopefully bring that back into what I do, obviously within my day job. And I guess some takeaways from what I've found in my time so far is the caliber of people that are in our SIG are most of them are definitely experts in their field, and I think it's fair to say I definitely feel like a bit of an imposter. I'm not as experienced as some of them, and it can be a bit intimidating, but I think I've definitely learned. They've all very welcoming, very kind, and even sometimes actually I just can give that layman's advice or look at it from a different angle and where we're working on, for example, good practice guides that want to be shared industry wide. It's not for the people that are SMEs in their area, it's for everybody, kind of reaching the grassroots of FM as well. So even if I can just apply that lens of sort of a common sense approach to some of the work we do, then that's definitely valued within the SIG. And I guess for me personally, it's definitely sort of what have I got from it is delivered what I hoped. So I definitely know more people now within the FM community that I can either reach out to, share best practice with, that I didn't know before. I've gained confidence, I would say, in particularly sustainability as a special interest group and a subject, and it's something that I'm able to use within my work life. We've had some good meetings based on stuff we've talked about, even the climate adaptation, etc., with our own internal sustainability teams here at Allianz. And I think it's also just given me the courage to be a bit more involved in IWFM, go to some more events, present here on this call today, share the knowledge. And I would definitely say, yeah, don't underestimate the importance of it. It's been really valuable. It's not that much of a commitment. I can kind of fit it in inside a busy job, and look forward to kind of continuing with it for the foreseeable. Oh, I think you're on mute, Ian, but
Do you know what? That's usually when I'm at my best when I'm on mute. It really is. Thank you for that, Chloe. That was interesting and interesting point you make. Also, you don't have to be a top of the game subject matter expert to be involved in and have valid input in to a SIG.
for sure.
Yeah, and you do have valid input into our SIG. So thank you for all the work you
Yeah,
do.
no, you're welcome.
And I see a face that I know, and we've got him down as Ian Christopher because we've had to share links. But Orin, how you doing? Thanks for coming on and battling through our technical challenges. Orin is, I think it's fair to say, a well-established member of our London region, without giving too much age away, and has kindly agreed to come on and actually just talk with us about what it is regions do and what they get involved with, and again, what volunteering means to him. So, under the pseudonym of Ian Christopher, Oren, could you please take the stage, as it were?
Of course, Ken. So, thanks, Ian. Hi everybody. So, Oren Gershon. So, I am owner and managing director of OMG Consultancy. So, we've got two parts of our business. We've got a property side and we've got a procurement side. I've been active within the FM industry 25 odd years. It'll be, I think, 20 years since member of both RICS and IWFM this year. I was originally a SIG member in the education SIG back 12, 13 years ago. And I've now been treasurer for the London region for 10 years. It'll be this year. So I also sit on the procurement SIG. So what Chloe is saying is exactly right, that you can put as much or as little as you want into that in terms of time. Similar with the London region. So the London region covers, as you can imagine, effectively everything in the London area. So we tend not to go too far out of London because obviously the challenge of running events. So the way we work is we effectively host monthly, quarterly breakfast events, Q&As, summer socials, Christmas socials, CPD sessions. So the London region chair, Joe Harrison. So he's recently become chair last year, I think it was, Ian. So I've been, I think, through 4 chairs. So the committee in the group that we have younger people, we have older people, we have a real mix of people from client side, from supply side, and consultancy like myself. So the focus for us is similar to the SIGs. We meet them on a monthly basis. So we tend to do those virtually, but if people are in London, then obviously we meet in person together. So sometimes we might meet one of our offices, and then people will remote into the call, or so it's quite a social piece. Obviously, like with Chloe, if you have other commitments, that's not an issue if you've got holidays. But what we do ask on the London SIG though is that you don't miss more than 2 meetings in a 12-month period, because obviously we do have quite a few people interested in joining our region, because it is quite high profile in terms of the amount of events we run. So we have a chair, myself as deputy chair. We have a treasurer. We have 2 deputy chairs. We have 1 person supporting on events, which I'm also supporting on others get involved with. So we have got the next event next Thursday. So that's 23rd. So if you want to come along, if you're in the London area, you can come along to the breakfast social, which is a joint event between the London region and the procurement SIG. So I'm quite actively trying to move amongst the SIGs a bit more. So Chloe, I'll reach out to you as well, just in terms of doing joint events between the SIGs and the regions as well. So we recognise as a London region, it's a quite high volume of people who are members. Quite often people are in the London area. So we can also support launches of good practice guides, which we're looking to do in January with SIPs and IWFM. So I'll speak to that later in. But it's quite a broad opportunity to get involved. So it could be that, you just want to support on administration in the meetings. It could be that you want to just be more involved with the community, come to events. So it's an opportunity really to make yourself a bit more visible in the industry, which is really helpful, I found over the last 10, 15 years. But it also really helps you engaging with new people. So quite often in our work lives, we kind of focus on the work we're working on, the clients we're involved with. And you may go to events and you can feel a bit nervous, perhaps if you haven't been to many events or it's a new event or new people there. But by being part of the committee, it helps you engage with people. People tend to come to you a bit more and ask you questions about the committee and the event and who you are as a person as well. So I'll definitely say it certainly helped previous chairs, the current chair, in terms of their profile in the industry. Why did I join? I joined thanks to a lady called Kathy Hayward, who's no longer in the chairs or in this SIGs or region, sorry. I joined because I was interested to know more about the industry. So it's also an opportunity to learn more about what the SIGs are doing, what the good practice guides are up to, but also, like Chloe was saying, in terms of it's not important about the level, it's about how you can interact with the information. Because sometimes we could come up with a good practice guide as what people see as experts, but for someone who's quite new into the industry, it may not make sense. So it also gives people an opportunity to feed in at different levels, different experiences into those good practice guides, whether if it's a SIG, and then obviously if it's a region, to get more involved with the social profile, involved with the SIGs, multiple SIGs rather than just one.
Thank you, Oren, and a shameless plug for your event there, I noticed, but that's perfectly acceptable if you go on to these. The last one, unfortunately, Cheryl hasn't been able to join us because of their technical issues, which is networks. We have a small number of networks. We have Risings, which is for people new into the FM industry to help you find your way forward. We also have Women in FM who are doing some amazing work at the moment, which obviously representing women in the FM industry, which is an underrepresented group. So they're doing amazing work. We also have the really vibrant veterans group who are supporting ex-service personnel. So there's a whole group of people there, including our strategic leaders forum, the last of our, who represent certified and fellow members to that strategic overview level. So you can really become involved right across the piece. Chloe probably being very, very modest, saying I'm not. I think Chloe knows an awful lot about what she's doing, but that input is valuable. And then you take that right up to the strategic leaders, right across that piece. You can actually bring something. I'm saying, sense check. So you've got something coming in. Does that technical piece or the technology piece, as we have a technology SIG, actually represent what's going on in London as well as it represents what's going on in the north or in Scotland? And those things can help. So it is about collaboration. It is about working together. You do have to put some hours in. We do expect you to actually do something. I mean, Chloe is she's saying, oh, you don't have to do. but Chloe's a very active member of her sustainability SIG. I'm not even going to mention Oren because he's been so active for so many years. It'd almost be rude to say that he's an active member. If you committed a crime, Oren, for good behaviour, you'd be out by now. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you, Ian.
And you're still there doing the work for us, which is greatly appreciated. It genuinely is. At this moment, I'm just going to ask, are there any questions? Drop one in the chat or come off mute and ask the question. All I'll ask, which I'm sure they will do, is Chloe Oren, they'll just answer you honestly. It might not be the answer you're after, but it'll be the truth. Because what we don't want to do is paint a false picture of what volunteering is about. So are there any questions? This is where it goes really, really quiet and no one's quiet. And as there's only 3 people on this call that are, you're going to have to be big and brave. I mean, we could get a question from one of each of you. We could get Chris, Michael, and Jason, maybe.
Can we maybe get intros from them, Ian?
I'll come first.
There's a brave person.
Nothing in particular. Obviously, I work for Savills. So it's more of a sort of what we can do, i.e. me personally, without the IWFM to put our name out there, that we trying to support, and all the initiatives, etc., good practices and whatnot, what I could bring into the table. And then obviously in terms of like good practices, what we could be doing at Savills within our team that we're not doing currently, or vice versa, what we do that I could share with the wider sort of audience, I suppose.
Yeah.
So it's just I've been a certified member for years now. It's just sort of I don't even know, want to get involved, put it that way. I'm sure something beneficial would come out of that for both parties. So it's just I'm just interested in. Actually, I should put my camera on. Bear with me. Why have I not done that?
That's no problem.
Just to see. Okay, I've got no background. My Savills background seems to have disappeared. But hey ho.
Don't worry. It is from me and please our 2 volunteers that actually do this day to day. I'm the volunteer partnership manager, so I get paid to sit here and do. These people actually do it in their own time, so they're the heroes here, not me. For me, it should be a 2-way street. If you're sitting on a region SIG or network committee, you do need to bring something to it, and you need to be able to input into that to make it a better situation. But the flip side of that is also, I do genuinely believe, and I hope that the 2 volunteers on today are getting something out of it themselves. That rubbing shoulders with subject matter experts, rubbing shoulders with the people who actually, and this is a quote, Sarah Ortwood, who happens to be the chair of the Midlands Committee, who I'm going to see tomorrow because they've got their conference, said what's really funny is when you start planning something like an event, or if you're doing a GPG, quite often you are collaborating and working with people who would be your competitors in a normal environment. And that's really quite, because you can see, well, what is their best practice? So yes, definitely. Yeah. I think there is that element where you could come along and go, is there a reason you're doing it that way? Because we're doing it this way and it's actually working quite well.
Yeah, so especially within the sort of managing agent sort of environment, because we know, all the big players seem to be doing, the same thing. But there's always a caveat, someone does it a little bit better, So I suppose, as you say, it's 2-way stream. I share our best practice, they share theirs, and we meet in the middle. You take, what you feel is relevant out of that, and then spread it out within your own team, don't you? So
absolutely, yeah. And I reckon I put a figure hours wise of about 4 hours a month, and sometimes it's going to be less than that, but sometimes Chloe's and Oren, they go along. Oh, you get a 1 hour meeting a month. That's fine. But then you're doing some work, like putting on an event or working on a good. Then it's going to ramp up a little bit. So I think if you're thinking about 4 hours a month that you are prepared to put into it, you will also get something out. And I hope you do get something out of it, because that
I'll definitely be interested. I've mentored people obviously throughout the years. Even recently a fella who's finishing his level 4 IWFM training, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. So Great. If I can get involved in mentoring, I'll be more than happy to do to support.
Yeah. Have I missed anything, Oren? You've come in.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, Michael. So the SIGs and the regions work differently. So the SIGs are very much about the good practice guys, industry practices. The regions, I would say, are more about the opportunities to get into the buildings of London, meet new networks. So if you want to raise your profile up, it's better to be in a region. If you want to kind of industry knowledge and be known in a SIG for certain pieces of work. So if, for example, again, I've joined the procurement SIG because our business has a procurement divisions and we're members of SIPs. So we're trying to bring SIPs and IWFM together a bit. So that's the purpose we're trying to do. And what we're getting out of it is we're then collaborating and getting our name out more in the industry of us as a consultant. If you are looking to get your knowledge and build your knowledge in an area of a SIG, that's helpful. But if you're looking to get, I would say, your name more known in the industry, a bit more awareness of people, you're looking promotions, you're probably better off in a region, if I can say that because but you would be going to a lot more events. So the SIGs tend not to do so many events, but I'm trying to get the collaboration piece. So for example, next week we've got the London and Procurement SIG are hosting a breakfast social. So hopefully I can speak with Chloe. We can then put on a London region with the sustainability. So when the good practice guides are coming out, we can support launching them. Yeah. So I hope that gives you a bit of a difference between where the SIGs and regions are.
Yeah. Okay. Chloe, have you got anything you would like to add to
that? No, I mean, it's an interesting distinction, actually, which even I hadn't probably framed it in such a way. But I would still say, yeah, so it does definitely depend what suits you and what you would like to get out of it. So as you're saying, Oren, if it's your own personal profile and networking and expanding that group, then sure, a probably less specific interest group would help. But, and I guess passionately about ESG and some of the others as customer service, SIG, etc. They're everywhere in our day jobs. You can't kind of escape sustainability and where that's going as well. And I'm sure Savills are doing tons in that space. And as you say, I've probably got some sort of really interesting knowledge-based ideas that you can share, with the SIG, and then that all feeds into getting that wider sort of more wider known throughout the network. So I think it definitely you do have to commit, like we said, but I think it's manageable for most people that are kind of juggling probably busy jobs anyway. It's a worthwhile a worthwhile addition. And as Ian was saying, it is a good point. There are lots of competitors, and even my supply chain are represented on the SIG that I'm in as well, a different part of them, and some others that, but it's kind of above all of that, it's just actually trying to share best practice across the network. So definitely worth doing if you've
I'm also going to make one point for you. You can be on more than one committee, but obviously you do multiply the amount of hours that you're going to have to. But I mean, I'm just thinking Anna Williamson, who, bless her, was on the last one, did this. She's the Deputy Chair of Members' Council. She's the Chair of the Education Network that we're reforming. She's on, I think she's Secretary for Strategic Leaders Forum. And she's on the Sustainability SIG as well, isn't she?
She is.
Yeah. I mean, don't ask how she juggles all that. I have absolutely no idea. But the point being, that's an extreme. But if you felt that actually, and just using what we have here, because we've got 8 SIGs, so but actually I'd like to get involved in that sustainability, see what's going on, and what the current subject matter experts are saying, and how can I align feedback to Savills and feed from Savills into the team, and then would that lead to better procurement? I'm trying to bring you all in here, Oren.
Sure.
I'm currently in London, so would it be a good idea to be part of the London region? You can mix and match. What I would say is probably do 1 or 2 maximum to start with, then see how that fits in with your work schedule.
I think 1 would be a good start.
Michael, are you based at Margaret Street?
Finsbury Circus.
Finsbury Circus. Okay, so I'll probably suggest. I don't know if you've been to any events, but I'll probably suggest maybe going to an event or a SIG to just sit in on the meeting and listen to what's happening, or go to an event to hear more about what's happening and how they run. Because, so for example, the procurement SIG, we meet monthly, but we tend to be 3 or 4 hours in our meeting.
Right.
But that's
okay.
because we're working on a good practice guide at the moment for the industry, and again, that's aligned with SIP. So there's peaks and troughs where Ian says, sorry, it's about 4 hours a month. It could be that 1 month you've only got 1 or 2 hours, but the next month you've got 5 or 6. So it averages out, obviously, but there will be periods when it is going to be a bit busier.
Peaks and then drops,
Yeah. So like with with us in the region, the London region's got a Christmas snowball, so obviously there's quite a bit of running in the run up to that. There's quite a bit more effort, but then when we haven't got events running, it is a lot quieter.
Okay. Absolutely. Chris, Jason, do you have any questions? Because now's the time to speak up, because we've got 2 people that actually do it here, and I can tell you anything I like because I'm IWFM staffer. These are the real heroes that actually do it and put the effort in and do those good practice guides. Jason, hi.
Hi. Yeah, sorry, I just dropped out because I'm sat in my car and the phone overheated and just dropped everything out, and so I've just managed to get back in again. So I don't know where you're at or what you are, but you were asking questions. You were talking to Michael or Marcus, I think it was. I'm a veteran, so I did hear that you said about a veterans group.
Yep.
I'm based in the southwest, Western-super-Mare near Bristol. I don't want to sound altruistic because I believe we benefit from everything, and the amount you put in is what you get back. What my question is what would I be able to put in?
Pretty much as within reason, as much as you want. Quite a lot. The southwest region, Richard Kimber's their chair there, great guy. They're always looking to try and do 1, networking events, and 2, an awful lot of CPD events. So you'd be more than welcome if you want to get involved in that, to put on the events. Like Oren was talking about, London are pretty proactive as well. Or we've got veterans events that are going on. I think their committee's fairly full, but you can always submit an expression of interest form. There's nothing stopping you doing that. But again, they are very, very active. So seriously, we could spend your time for you quite comfortably. Trust me, Jason, we can spend a lot of your time for you. We do have those 2 sides. Chloe's got 2 kids. They're not going to shut up. They're going to need looking after. That's the responsibility of, I've got 2 myself. But so, it does fit for those that are time poor, but put some valuable time in when they can. Prime example. Then you've got those that are doing a bit more. Oren, it's working with his business and he's putting the time in. So yeah, there's a lot you could do. And if you want to take on the events or help out on the event side in the southwest, that would be huge, because ultimately, if you're thinking member value, if there's CPD events, and I'm ignoring the good practice guides just for a moment, Chloe, don't shoot me, but they are important, they're fundamental. But those good CPD events where you can network with other FMs, you can learn something fundamental about the FM industry that can help you in your job. That's really good member value, and that's actually what our volunteers do. They give an awful lot of member value.
That sounds great. Yeah. And so where would I be able to go to contact? So you said his name, but the chair, but I can't remember what he said.
Don't worry about that. That's fine. What I will be doing for all of you, I'm actually off to the Midlands this afternoon, but my colleague Lisa will send out an email to everyone, which will have a link to this in it. So you will be able to review some of the answers and questions that have been asked. And it will also have an expression of interest form with it. If you fill that out and return it, just give me an idea of, I'd like to look at veterans, I'd like to look at Southwest region. I will then push that out to the chairs of all the relevant groups. Michael, that goes for you as well, and Chris as well. So that will be coming out to you this afternoon at some point, probably around about 3-4-ish. If you just respond, I will then pick it up with you and send it on to the relevant people for you.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and the other thing, Chloe, you nailed it as well, actually, and it's so true. And Oren, I bet second this. They are a really friendly bunch, and I am talking about Southwest as you're down there, but right across the board, you know, the SIGs, the regions, they are a friendly bunch, so you will be welcomed.
Ian, what I'd just say as well, Jason, is the variation between the regions and SIGs. So regions obviously focus on their regions, but what you'll find with the SIG, certainly the procurement SIG and some of the others, is that you'll get people across the country. So in the procurement, we've got people in Scotland, in the northeast, the northwest, in London, the southeast. So we've got a real mix. So that's why you tend to see those a bit more online as well, because the people in those SIGs are across the whole country. So you're not dealing with just one area. So that also gives you an added benefit of, for example, some of the legislation in Scotland is slightly different to UK. So if you also want to gain some best practices from other areas such as Wales or Scotland or other parts of the country, it's not that you're just in one area.
Yeah, it's very much, it's a good point. Regions pretty much speak for themselves. They look after a regional area and promote good practice, and we push the good practice guides that the SIGs produce into those as well. So that's very much sort of member value in that geographical area. The SIGs, special interest groups, they focus on a particular sector, whether that be sustainability, procurement, those specialisms within FM. And the networks tend to represent a group of people, as in WIFM, Women in FM, obviously they are representing women in FM. Risings, it's new entrants. So it's a group of people. So they do overlap. But fill out the EOI form, Jason, and please send it in, and I'll happily push you out to all the people you want to have a chat with, and you can find out where you feel you can give best, but also where you can get something back. There's an interesting one. We have a workplace SIG. And Chris, I'm going to come to you in a minute because you're sitting there patiently. And the lady that I put forward was in Scotland and expressed an interest in Scotland. Mark Jenkins, the chair of Scotland, had a meeting with her and said, I'd love to have you on board, but really you're not going to get anything out of being in our region. What you would get is an awful lot of industry experience and extra knowledge and be able to input if you join the workplace SIG. She's now a workplace SIG committee member. We are an altruistic bunch, I think it's fair to say. Chris, did you have a question? I hope, has that answered your question, Jason? Yeah, cool. Chris, did you have a question you'd like to put to Oren and Chloe? Perhaps not.
Did you want to maybe do an introduction to yourself, Chris? Is he still online?
Says so.
Yeah, but it does say I'm Ian Christopher.
What I'm going to do now then, if there are no other questions, I'm going to give you 15 or 14 minutes of your time back. I'd just like to say thank you very much, Chloe, for your time. Oren, thank you very much for your time. It's genuinely appreciated. And to those people that hung on through our technical difficulties, thank you to you as well. It is genuinely appreciated. There will be an email coming out this afternoon. Have a read, have a look through this again. There is also on YouTube the one we did the previous week, if you want to have a look at it under IWFM. Have a look at the EOI form, think about what's best for you, and I'm more than happy to have a phone call or a Teams chat afterwards if that would be as helpful.
I was going to add in as well, just for the guys, but I know certainly on the sustainability SIG, you can kind of do a trial if you like. Yeah. So we've done, I came along to the first meeting just to meet people, see what happened, like you say, listen in. So don't be afraid to sort of maybe, put yourself forward, but just sort of sit in and see whether you think it's something for you to take forward or not.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. The first meeting pretty much is trials are harsh words.
Yeah, I do.
I know
You're not on trial. Oh my God,
experience.
Oh, that's a good idea. Just to give you a flavour of what the meetings are like.
Exactly. Yeah. Can I bring something to them? Are they? And I don't think I've ever had anyone go to and it is a trial. You're quite right, but I don't think of anyone. Oh, I don't want to work with these people, because they're all pretty nice bunch, and I have to deal with all of them. And trust me, they are all a nice bunch. So on that note, if there are no other questions, I'm going to wrap it up. Say thank you, everybody, very much for your attendance and for your input and your questions. Any questions, come back to us. You know, there is no stupid question. If you don't know the answer to it, it's definitely not a stupid question. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you all. Thanks for your time.
Thanks
I
all.
wish you all the best. Take care.
All the best.
Thanks all.
Bye.
Enjoy the day.
Bye.